Okay, I got it to where I can move my hands. I'm glad the girl that was asking me about my nails, I'm glad that she, called me when I could tell her what I use. I was relieved about that. Because I worry about that. It really, I'm just one of these people. See, this is really pretty. This is real pretty. And this comes in different shades. I have it in lots of shades of different colors. But it really does worry me. Anybody that I'm one of these people that, just every person does matter. I don't forget things. And if I do, please remind me. And I really appreciate people taking the time to communicate. When I do my flowers, no funeral is too small. So I haven't done one of these in quite some time. So I double my yarn. I'll leave that tail down here because it splits, and we don't want that. Kind of, you'll see why I do this here in a minute, but kind of long. I don't know. Do I want to do that? Nah, I really don't. Let's just do it simple. Right there's the bottom. Okay, so we want to go. Here's the top, and it doesn't matter if you get it backward. It'll still look good. And so what you do is you just take this and you want to catch the edge. See? Leave you a decent tail because you want to have enough there to weave. Now, watch me. About an inch apart. Nina sent me where Rebecca, Mackenzie's child, founder, passed away. I really hated to see her go. She was so creative, so colorful. And you could tell it just, she was just a sweet person. You just want to keep going around until you get back to the other side. And okay. So when you get right here, just come in right about just like it right there. Cinch that down. Come back and just knot it. Okay. And, you know, just for the heck of it, I'm going to knot it again. Because you don't want that to relax once you start going in there with your hook. They turn that down a little bit, don't I? Sorry about that. Okay, I've been on an Elvis kick. I've been listening to Elvis. I can't listen to Elvis on here or, you know, copyright stuff. So we're just on traditional bluegrass. Okay, so where's my yarn? There it is. And I try to keep my work clean as I go. Some people, that don't bother, you know, but I just try to keep it clean as I go. You gotta make your slip knot right there. Pick it up, turn, pull. There it is. You can pull either side. Doesn't matter. Don't know what I'm doing, do I? Anyway, make you a slip knot. Go in there. And I'm putting my tail, I'm putting this tail on this side because of the bulk, you know. And what I'm doing is I'm starting on that far, on this side of that stitch. I'm anchoring it, is what I'm doing, okay? Pull on down and cinch down on that. Okay. And what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Let's just go around with a half double crochet. Oh, I put that on the wrong side. I'm sorry. Okay. See, I want to stay on this side and anchor that. I mean, you don't have to, but kind of, you know, you just learn these things as you go along. Yarn over, and we want to go down again. I'm keeping that tail in there. My hands move real slow. I can't move them any quicker than that. So if you see me move my hands awkwardly, it's arthritis. So at this point, I'm going to grab my tail and I'm going to start crocheting that in. And usually I stagger it. Generally, I stagger it. That's why my stuff don't come apart. And that's why you can't see it. It's weaving. And everybody's got a different way of doing it. You know, I'm sure there's some expert crocheter out there. It would absolutely drive crazy. Just like, you know, I want my tails even. That would drive me crazy. Everybody's different, you know. So I just encourage you to start and find your happy place. If you get aggravated with it, go get your cup of coffee. You might not go back to it for 3 or 4 days, 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 months. It's not something that you do for speed, okay? Typically. Well, some people do, but I don't. I refuse. This is one thing that I do that nobody bosses me around. Well, nobody bosses me around anyway, but what I'm saying is I do what I want to, and if somebody wants to buy it, that's fine. I give it away as gifts because it's something really high end that I can give to somebody that it can afford, you know. So comes in handy. Everybody loves it, but I do sell it. I have sold quite a bit too, so. But I just do it unless somebody wants to buy it. Fine. And I mean, like, if somebody says, I'd like a yellow this, or, you know, what's your favorite color? I'll ask, and I'll get an idea of what they want, and then I'll do it up. But crochet takes a long time. Crochet takes a long time to do. And I refuse at 56 years old to do anything that I don't want to do. You know? Not going to do something miserable that, you know, takes that many hours and is so much pain for my wrists and stuff, you know. I do it because I love it, and I'm not going to have anybody rob my joy. So, but I do. I love to do things for people if I can please them, you know. If I can't, then there's always someone else. You know, a long time. And there was, I think is it Honeybee? I don't know who it is, but they was a bartender. Somebody was a bartender. And I've worked in a mini bar. I've been hired as a bartender three times, 2, but more like 3 probably. Yet I never did do it because I always liked waitressing. But I don't like being pinned in. I like to be able to move about. I like freedom. That's why I like driving a truck and stuff. That's why I liked waitressing. I can move about. But you know, when you waitress or you bartend or you know, the customers, you know, I put up with so much when I was young. And I don't put up with anything now. And it don't matter whether you got money or whether you don't. It's how you manage your life. It's not a money factor. It does help. Money helps. But no is not a big word. You got to set standards for yourself. So now I'm starting to crochet over top of those tails. I'm picking up one of the tails. Oh, kind of watch. Kind of pull and tug. And if you can't remember to do that, don't worry about it. Really, when you first start, don't be so critical of yourself. I want to do a butterfly. Butterflies are really easy to do, and that was, I think, the second thing that I ever crocheted. Might have been the first. Now I'm grabbing both tail ends. And so I thought I needed to do a butterfly. Y'all would enjoy that. once you get your tails in there, and I could cut them off at this point, but if they're long, I just keep weaving them in, because the more you've got weaved in, the less likely that this is to come apart ever. And especially if you're selling something, but even if you're giving it to somebody or your own, I mean, you don't want to waste your product. You want to make it right. And so this is why I do what I do, the way that I do it. Everybody's different. And I thought these would be fun colors, you know, to do for you. And see, once you can get them tails out of the way, you can just whiz through it. But this first row is just a little bit more challenging than the rest. It's hard for me to get that under there. My hands don't want to work. Okay. I bought one of these one time. We used to have a little mercantile here, and I used to love to stop there with my daughter when she was in school, and she would get honey sticks, and they would always have crafts in there. It's called White's Mill, and it was an actual little country store, and a lot of vendors in there, and I bought one of these. Of course, it didn't look anything like mine, but I loved it. I thought, well, you know, to wash dishes with, and I used it. And people, you know, if I give these as gifts, I mean, they really use them, and they wring them out, and they dry, and they work. They're handy. They're useful. And they're pretty. You can make it look like a flower. Okay. You want to get as many in there as you can. You want it full. Connect. Okay. Just that would work. You know, go around with another row of that right there, but I want to make it pretty. So, what I'm going to do is see where I joined. See where I joined right there. I'm going to chain one. I'm going back down into that. And I'm going to single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You want to skip 3. Can you see that? You see that? Okay, there, I'm in that stitch. I'm going to skip this stitch. A lot of people may know this, but a lot of people don't. There's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Right there is number 4. And I'm going right into that. So you want to crochet 5, skip the next 3 stitches, 2, 3, and it's much easier if you use a solid color. It's a lot easier to see. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. This is pretty, but it's not very good for teaching purposes. But we'll get through it. 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. I went to the dollar store. Carrie, a friend of mine, had some Tupperware on Marketplace. I don't know, wait a minute. She had some Tupperware, and I wanted it. So, okay, I'm back down. I unraveled all that. Here's my chain 1, 2, 3. That's your first double crochet, yarn over. I'm going back down into that same stitch. I'm doing another double crochet. I'm chaining 2. I'm going back down into that same stitch. I'm putting 2 more double crochets again, because I think that will make for a meatier dishcloth. Now, I'm going to skip 2, and I'm going to go into the 3rd stitch, and I'm going to do another V-stitch. Chain 2. Same stitch, 2 more double crochets, and this may be wait a minute. Skip 4. I'll tell you what, do V-stitch, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, skip 1, double crochet into the next, skip 1, and V-stitch. Hopefully that will fit. We don't want it, we want it to lay flat. We don't want it curling. Of course, they're pretty when they curl too. Will that work, maybe? Yeah, I think that'll work. And I will switch colors, but not right now. Skip 1 stitch, go back down into the next one, double crochet, skip the next stitch, go back down into the next one, and just a minute. Now, you can do these the same way every time, but I just never do. And so I'm going to change colors and tie this off. So I went to dollar store, and they didn't have anything that I wanted or needed hardly. And everything that they had was 3 or 4 times more than, you know, what I needed. And, I mean, everything is so much different now. And anyway, so then I bought a few things there, and one thing I needed a serger, electric thing, you know, power strip, and I have all of that, you know, but yet I had to go buy one. Everything I own still needs to be moved. But anyway, so I went, and instead of getting that, I ended up getting an extension cord and the adapters to take it from a 3-prong down to a 2-prong. And I had to get some batteries for my new phone. And boy, I was so glad to get back home. You know, the lady that rang me up, she said, "Did you used to groom dogs?" I said, no. But actually, I did for a hot minute way back. I've always groomed my own dogs. But anyway, I kept pushing my baggie. She was outside smoking. And I turned around and I said, "You used to come into the store. You used to come into my store. Baby store at a children's store." She said, I knew you." And we've both gotten a lot older, and I thought, boy, I bet she thinks, gosh, what happened to her? Because I just can't hardly walk good, you know. But it was good to see her. Real good customer. Real good customer. But it just been so many years, you know. I knew her too. It's just been so many years. These things are hit and miss. Just go in any stitch. And we'll anchor right there. And 2, 3. That's your first double crochet. And yarn over, go back down under the same stitch. I grab my tail. I pull that tail through the first 2 loops. I drop that tail. And then I take my tail again. And I chain 2. Going back down into the same stitch, grabbing my tail again. Through the first 2, dropping it. And then the rest of the tail through the first 2 loops. And I dropped it right there, so what's left of my tail. Okay, and at that point, you can snip that off and forget about it. If you can get a hold of it, you can go right down to the edge. Okay, so now skip a few stitches, let's just put it that way, okay? And double crochet. Skip another few stitches. Go in there and doing a V-stitch, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 more. And you see what you got coming along there? See? Okay. And like I said, skip a few stitches. You don't have to be so... We don't have to count on this. I say skip 2 in between each one. Okay. Chain 2. I'm going back in doing 2 more. I'm skipping 2 stitches. Actually, that time I skipped 3. So each one gets a double crochet, skip a few more, latch on down into that, and I need to go over a little bit farther than that. 2 double crochets, chain 2, go back in, 2 more double crochets, skip a few stitches, go in and do your double crochet, skip a few more, do a double crochet, another, chain 2, so I couldn't find what I needed at the dollar store, and I could make do with what I found, but it wasn't what I wanted. And so I stopped by the Dollar Tree because I wanted these. I wanted to show you on these. These are easy. These are cheap. You've got a whole pack to practice on. Double crochet. Skipping a few more. Another V-stitch. So I went to Dollar Tree, and they had these, and they had 6 packs, and I bought them all, because I got a lot of cotton. What I got in the floor over there, that ain't nothing. I mean, I don't even know which box it's all in. My buttons, I've got things that are done that I need to sew buttons onto. I cannot find anything. I've got to go through boxes. That's hard to do. You got to be able to carry them and open. I could see anything on my legs. My knees are just so painful. My mom had both knees replaced, and she worked so hard for that. She really did. She had to go in rehab both times, all 3 times. She has really fought to live, whether we get along or not, you know. And the first one went well. Well, it really didn't go well. She was horrible to deal with. But anyway, she was awful. Jumping on me. I was trying to help her, you know. She just treated me like a dog. And anyway, so, but the second one, that second surgery, they dropped her. And she came to when they dropped her. And she overheard him say, I didn't know she was that heavy. Because she's short. I'm tall, she's short. This worked out. See, I just need one more double crochet and it's going right there. But, she ended up having to have that knee replaced. She should have sewed him. I wish she would have. But she just didn't feel like it, I'm sure. You know what I mean? And, so she had it replaced again, and she like never lived through it, but she did. And then now it still ain't right. It's never had good circulation below that knee. And a couple of months ago, she pulled into my store before I'd moved out of the building. God love her heart. They had mentioned the word amputation to her. Not recommended it, but that word had came up. She said, I won't do that. And I said, I wouldn't either. I don't blame you. And I mean, she is so mean, cruel, unkind, jealous to me. She is the most horrible, horrible person to deal with. But she's not always like that. Sometimes she's normal. And she's always been this way. But it's to a severe point now. And I mean, I'm just vlogging. You know, everybody deals with this kind of stuff in their life too. And her car needed brakes and things like that. And I helped her. And 2 days after that, she was running her mouth at me again. And I mean, it was like $1,500 in one whack. One day was $1,300, the next day was $200. And I said, don't spend nothing else. I got to have enough left for myself. She didn't care, you know. And I didn't hear from nobody. My daughter lives there. I never get to see my grandson. The last time I was up there, before I gave her the $1,500, she summoned my daughter to come out of the bedroom and jerk my grandson out of my arms, crying. No reason at all. The only one arguing was her and my daughter. I just wanted to sit there and talk to my little boy for a minute. That's all I wanted. Threatening me with the law, hadn't done a thing, waving that phone around, looking like Wendy Williams, all bug-eyed. God knows what all they've got her on. I have no idea. But she's always been mean like that. She's always been mean. And I don't want nobody saying nothing mean about her, because I can say that, but you can't. And I mean that. Don't say nothing bad about my mama or I'll block you. And that's the only mean thing I'd ever say to anybody, but she's my mother. She's my mother, you know. We went through a lot of hard times together. And we had a lot of good times too. But everybody has to deal with unruly parents. And not everybody does, but some people do. So if you're knee-jerks and you've got your wonderful parents, just be glad you do and keep your mouth shut and thank the good Lord if you've got good parents. If you've got a single parent, and, you know, my mom was a single parent when there wasn't many around, and you know, she was all by herself with me. She's about 22 years old. And I was 4 years old. She's about 21, 22. I was about 4, you know, I was 4. We were by ourselves in a great old big city. But anyway, I helped her. And anyway, she hollered at me couple of Sunday before last. It's been almost 3 weeks ago now. Maybe it's 2 weeks. I don't know. I think it's about third. She wanted to say hi, and I said, I don't want to say hi. You've been rude to me your last time, and jerking my grandson, having my daughter, who's already in a mess emotionally. She's young. She's just been in a mess for a lot of years. Having her jerk her son out of her mother's arms upon your... That is the last thing you will ever do. And I ain't heard any more from her. So besides divorce and dealing with AEP and... Not AEP, the water department, dealing with Social Security. There's that, you know. And so then a couple of nights ago, I dreamed about her. And I thought, oh God, did she die? She come to me while I was sleeping? As far as I know, no. Some people's family are horrible to them. It's very hard to help them. You want to help them. You do anything in the world to help them. But there, now see, you could leave that just like that. And if you left that like that, you could sell that for $5. You know, that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep going with it. But you can make these ever how as big as you want. It's your little project. It's your little masterpiece. You do whatever you want. And welcome to my home. And I shouldn't have got off on a tangent talking about that, but I have that on my mind too, you know, because I pray for my mama and my daughter and my grandson all day long. I'll pray 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. Whenever I eat, I pray for them. And sometimes I pray beyond that. Tomorrow's Sunday. Need to go to church. I got some new shirts the other day when I was at Rose's. I don't know if anybody knows. Rose's is a little department store we got around here. And they got real pretty tops. And I try to stay away from Walmart. I know everybody uses Walmart. I just don't. Unless I absolutely did have to the other night to get this arm right here. And so I could do this with y'all. And my telephone, my home telephone. Sometimes I do, but it's like twice a year at the most. I've got a Sam's membership. I got the platinum or whatever, the good one. But I don't even use that. I go to the store as little as possible. It's just so painful. I love to go running around with Nina. And Deborah, she's real fun to run around with. You know, when I go out buying, thrifting, or if I go to buy something, go pick it up on Marketplace, if I've got to go a pretty good ways. I just love to get out with my girlfriends. But that's mostly me driving and sitting there. That I can still do. I don't know what in the world I've done here. That must have been what was left of that tail. But so... And I think YouTube is just a great thing. There's people make money on it, and if you make money, that's great. Seriously. I mean, that's wonderful. But that's, you know, if I do, that's fine. If I don't, that's okay too. I'm just here for you, you know. I'm just doing what I do because I can. And I think it's important that you, as we age and we're going through these things, that we realize that we're not, A, you're not the only one, and B, you could be a lot worse off than what you are. You know what I mean? Seriously. And so I just keep weaving my tails back and forth. This is something I don't get lazy on, because if you don't do this right, there ain't no need to be doing anything at all, because it will come apart. So I just really take and I do these more so because they're going to be used and they're going to get a lot of action. And so you want them to be durable, you know, but we've had really nice weather. That darn Courtney, I guess I told y'all, she got her a half a container for $100 a month. She's been busy doing that. We've had real nice weather. And it's just been really pleasant weather. I mean, we've really had some nice weather here the last few days. And it's just so nice. I'm so grateful. I'm going to go in with the purple again next, not the green. And you can do this a whole lot faster if you're, you know, not doing what I'm doing, talking and everything. Believe me, I'm a whole lot faster when I'm just sitting here doing my thing, you know. I'm going into my chain 2. My chain 2 space on my V-stitch. I'm going right down in that. And I'm going to no, wait a minute here. Right there, my double crochet, that piece in the middle. Hang on, I'll show you again. Right here, see you got a V-stitch, a double crochet, and a V-stitch. Right here, we want that stitch. You see where your eye is? Your eye to your stitch? Your stitch will point back this way. It's going, looks like it's going backward, not forward. Looks like the letter, the small case R. I'm dyslexic, is that right? Yeah, an R, a little R. Go in right there. That was always my biggest deal, was learning where do I put my hook, which stitch. Okay, so I've anchored into that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to come up here to this V-stitch. Oh, I still got it wrong. Wait a minute. No, let's go back into the V. I had that right to start with. I can't do 3 things at one time. So you just have to bear with me. Okay, so I've anchored right there in my V-stitch. I'm yarning over. And I'm going to go down and around that double crochet because it just looks like a good thing to do. And I'm just going to put me several double crochets around that. Just keep going in behind it and just keep spinning it around. I mean, it'll spin itself around. We're making a shell. 4, 5, now go into your V-stitch and single crochet. Okay, see what I did? Let's do it again. Right here, put your 5 double crochets around the back of the post of that double crochet in the center of your V-stitches. If you understand about crochet, that will make sense to you. If not, just grab a single crochet right there into that V-stitch. Come down here, find your next post, go in behind that bad boy, pull up a loop, and double crochet. Put your 5, 3, 4, I gotta pull yarn, 5. My V-stitch, okay. Ain't that pretty? Looks good, don't it? I sugared some strawberries. Ate an orange. The last couple of days, I've just really not been able to hardly walk. The last couple of weeks, I mean, it's just that's the way it is every day for me. So I have worked, I have gotten some things done, but I've crocheted too, because sometimes that's all I can do. And in that respect, it's a really good thing. You can still do something. Everybody likes different colors, you know. I'll make some and I'll think, oh gosh, that's so pretty. But then something crazy I don't even like that I did. People, they like different colors, they like different patterns, things like that. So you can kind of, you know, if you wanted to do this to make a little money, like go set up at a festival, fair, flea market, whatever. People do really like these. I've sold a lot of them, and it just blows your mind at what people will buy. And they're just tickled to death. They've scored. They found something, you know. I mean, if you find one thing, you scored. These are great for cleaning Teflon. I mean, so when we're connecting, that's too close, isn't it? Okay. When we're connecting this, right here where we began, you don't want to go down into this. Your stitch is already in there, you know, and that, like that right here, it's already in there. So what we want to do, we want to go into the top right there. And that keeps it looking all nice and proper. Oh, Lord. So pull that through to the back. I was doing these a long time ago. And then I see where somebody started doing them on YouTube a few years later. I did put them on Facebook, just showing people what I'd done, friends, you know. I wasn't selling them. But I noticed somebody finally done a video, but they do it a little bit different than me. Or that one I seen, they do it a little bit different than me. The way I do it, it's, you know, when it gets wet, you want to be able to wring it out, and, you know, mine are tight. And so, and it's a nice looking little job, you know. It's different on the back than the front. So, you can take these tails, and I recommend making a knot. For durability, and cut them same length, and you can feed both pieces through your yarn needle and weave them in. Okay, come over here to your cluster or your fan stitch, whatever you want to call it. And this is something you got to have patience with. You got to get your tails in there. A lot of people don't like doing tails. I guess I've done so many of them, they don't bother me because I change colors so much. So, but it makes it interesting. Oops. See, when it gets short like that, that's why I cut them long, because you end up having to rethread that needle. But it's okay. No big deal. I just don't like to do that. I only want to thread it once. And One more time. See, it's wanting to fall out. I don't like fooling with that. One more for good measure. I mean, the yarn is there, so why not weave it? And what you're doing, when you think about weaving, you think about like this, you're tangling that, okay? You want to tangle that all you can. And then that way, it won't never come apart. Okay? So. Pretty. When I say I sugared strawberries, that's what I mean. And I'm going to keep this small because I think it's cute. And I'm just doing a slip knot, and I'm going to go around the edge with the green. You can go in any stitch. An anchor. When you get to the center, you've got 5 double crochets right here. So right there was my first double crochet. I'm in the top of that one. Now this is my third one. And I want to put two right there, and then chain 3, and then come back down here and grab your yarn right there and do a slip stitch, and then go back down into that same stitch and do another single crochet. And that's what's called a picot. And then just continue to single crochet until we get to the middle of the next cluster. And when you come to this little guy right here, this anchor, you can make that kind of pretty and go down in behind of it, pull it up, build a little bit of height. Come over here. Here's your next stitch. Your next stitch will hide from you sometimes. Right there it is. Your next one, your second one. And right here's the top, the third one. Chain 3. Come down here and grab the side of that. Go back down into that same stitch and do another single crochet and go down 2 more, and then we're right there where we anchored, go down in there behind it. And what that does is kindly gives you just a little bit more, you know, of a whatever. It's cute. sometimes living by yourself when you get older isn't such a terrible thing, you know? I mean, like these cats, they keep me awful good company, you know, and I've got a really nice, all my neighbors are nice. I don't even know them, but they all are friendly as you pass by. And my next door neighbor, Ed's just great. If I need help, I can holler at him. And, I mean, I've worked it out, you know, like my propane, my propane guy is right up next door to me, and you know, you can work it out. I mean, it takes a minute. I've been here about 9 months now, but I mean, it just felt so weird when I first moved this camper in here. Lord, it was on a rough looking patch of ground where a camper had been previously torn out, and a trailer had been torn out before that, and it just looked rough. And the ground had holes dug in it for this and that. But, you know, didn't have no underpinning. It's just a camper sitting in a, and when it would rain, I was just sitting in a little lake. So, but, you know, before too awful long, I had the porch done, the gravel and the ramp and the roof, and then it was so cute, and I started enjoying it. I could open the door, and the cats came along, and I'm close to my friends here, and the lady that owns it is a friend, so it's been a great thing. And you know, sometimes I really wish, I wish my daughter was here with me, and she got 1 year of college in. I'd like to see her get the rest of her college in, and I'd just be a built-in babysitter for my grandson. That would be my idea of a perfect life. But it's awful nice to have your privacy, to feel safe. You know where you stand. Nobody makes the decisions but you. And if you're really lucky, you've got good kids that care about you. Or you've got family of some kind. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's really not. I'd like to go down to Gatlinburg, me and Nina. And from where I live, you can see, I can go left out of my driveway, and I can cross over into Tennessee within 10, 15 minutes. And then about a 40-minute ride or 30-minute ride through Tennessee, and I'm into North Carolina. And you can go over there in North Carolina. They used to have a lot of furniture factories over there. So you can go to the hospice house, thrift store, Habitat, or whatever, Salvation Army. There's Goodwills. I hate Goodwill, but I do go in there looking for things to flip sometimes. But I'm just so glad the weather is improving, so can get out and do something, you know. It's wintertime is rough. When you're doing this tail, right there, come and find you a loop and knot it. Okay. And just start weaving. Maybe I'll get this way to be a little easier on my hands. Cotton yarn is different from acrylic. Acrylic is a lot easier to me to work with. But we don't want to wash our dishes with acrylic, so it wouldn't work for that. So it's a little bit more stubborn to deal with. Nonetheless, you can get it. I've never made rugs. That's something I'd like to probably dabble at. I want to do those Victorian lampshades, and I'd like to carve candles. Build my little empire working from home like I did when I was a shingle downtown. Oops. Okay, so there you go. It's as pretty on the back as it is the front. And you can't tell where any of the tails are. Absolutely none. And they're not going to move. And so, like, something like that right there, $10 for that. Depends how much yarn, how many color changes, blah blah blah, but 10 is fine for that one. So anyway, I will stop this, and I'm going to come next, and I grabbed this while I was at Dollar Store. to crochet the top of for you, show you. Because if I have one, I have 100 of these, but I can't find them. I don't know where they're at. So I thought, well, that was pretty. I like that. So I bought it, and I'll come through next. I've got to grab some other colors of yarn to do the top, and I will probably do it in acrylic. So I got to grab that. And I'll come back and do that next, and I'll upload this one.